5, 4, 3, 2.
Tier 1 performance.
In the family, and then we got Blake running around rampant on the baseball field as a junior going to his senior year, right? And he is just, are they finished with their season, or they still got a couple more tournaments?
They've got 2 more left.
2 more left. All right.
Yeah.
So as someone who's played as a high schooler, a college kid, and a professional athlete, what's it like going into the parent aspect of it?
For me being first time, it's gut wrenching. It's funny. We had less, things to do when I was playing, but it turns out it's so much easier.
Yeah.
I mean, what they do now, it's extremely complicated. And as a parent, I thought I've been through it before, but this day and age,
Not even close.
no.
Yeah.
I'm actually feel like I'm learning over again. I mean, the amount of, you talk to everybody and, that's a money grab. Oh, this is a money grab. Don't do this. It's not worth your time. It's you might as well just roll the dice. Honestly,
Sure.
I mean, I'm still trying to live by that theory of the old adage: if you're good enough, they'll find you. Because honestly, I mean, you go to these tournaments, you go to these places, and there's a coach, there's a scout, there's a college coach. Then you're just like, okay, am I supposed to go talk to them, or what am I doing?
So you think it's more stressful as a parent than it is as a player?
Without a doubt. Because at least as a player, you went out on the field, you did your job.
Yeah.
If you did your job right, there they were.
Right.
Now it's, you got to fill out that, you got to fill out this, you got to go to this, you got to go to that, you got to. I'm just like I said, just rolling the dice, because I don't know. I keep telling Blake, just do well, because I don't know what else to tell you.
Right.
And later on this summer, it was, did you sign up for this? Did you sign up for that? I'm like, I don't know. It's so much more stressful as a parent.
Yeah. I bet, and it's also not really cheap either.
No, not even close. Not even close.
I was about to say.
The PG event that we went to in Atlanta, they had their little, I don't know what you call it, before the tournament even started. They 500 just step on the field.
That's steep.
That was without, we had to pay airfare, hotel, rent a
Travel,
car,
all
that stuff. And
Food,
then it was is Blake doing and I went, yes, I don't know. Should he? I don't know. And then I looked and went $499 for them to record your son, take his stats, see how tall he is, see what he weighs.
Oh my goodness.
And I just went $500. Now, you want to talk about a money grab?
Yeah. So going in and trying to avoid all these money grabs, what do you think is absolutely essential from your eyes at this point as to seeing your son get recruited? Or because people have been talking to him, so and a lot of people are in that kind of gray area where they don't know if someone's talking to them or not. They want people to talk to them, or people aren't talking to them at all. So what are kind of the must-haves for getting recruited at this time?
To me, as a former player yourself,
yeah.
I think what you do on the field speaks for itself. Because parents have a tendency to, I wouldn't say stretch the truth a little
Right.
bit, but when you're out on the field, like when we were in San Marcos, the entire Texas State coaching staff was there.
Right.
And so they got to see every at-bat, every throw, every catch, everything you did on that field. They were sitting in the press box, and you saw every one of them with clipboards, stopwatches. So to me, I looked at Blake. I said, look, there you go. They're up there.
That's all you need.
I told him, they're up there. They're watching you every move.
Yeah, because when I think it's now like a full year to the date, oh, look at this guy coming in.
Oh, my God.
Hey, we're trying to do business here.
Oh, I just want to watch.
No, it's been a full decade starting this year when I was recruited in high school, and things have already changed so much.
It's amazing.
Like social media is being used in on it. It's not emailing. Everyone needs a video, or it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
you know?
I mean, the amount of things they expect from you now, when, at least when I was in high school a long time ago, it was perform on the field and I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
I didn't need to send, we may have done a phone call or two with the coach, but other than
Right.
that, I didn't need to go to this camp or go to this showcase and give them my money and fill out the forms, and maybe somebody will come and talk to you. It's difficult now because there's so many avenues, including the portal. I mean, now it's like, we don't really take freshmen anymore. They're like, oh, unless I'm a pitcher. Oh, okay, good to know. And so high school guys, to me, have less now because of the portal.
And it's really interesting because we had somebody on last week, Gabe Solis, somebody that Mitch introduced me to, and he said that JUCO was important back then, but it's even more important now because
No question.
these coaches have these. They're looking at the people in the portal first, other D1 guys, other people that have experience, and then they're looking at guys that they have already brought in, and then the bottom of the totem pole is your high schoolers, your star high schoolers.
Absolutely.
And so now it gives them a window opportunity for JUCOs to come in and develop them, and then everyone's just going to be feeding out of that portal and
No doubt.
JUCO transfers. And to me, it feels like it's kind of turning into like hockey. When they go to that the school to
Right.
like development school or whatever
Right.
they call
Yep.
it, train for 1 or 2 years, and then you got a 21-year-old freshman going into BC, just taking
You're
bodies
like,
out.
Okay, and then my son's like, well, who am I competing against? Well, you're 17 and you're competing against a 21-year-old now.
Yeah, an absolute adult.
Yeah,
in his prime.
So it takes away that angle. I was talking to Todd Whitty, the coach at the University of Houston, and he was saying we have guys on staff that all they do is watch the teams that come in that we're playing.
Oh, for the portal in case they want to leave. Oh, man, that's crazy.
They literally will scout the teams coming in, and when the portal opens up, they just do this and go, oh, he's in the portal. Oh, let's make a phone call. We went down there for one of the scouting events, and they it's funny, before they used to have just high school kids coming into these things.
Yeah.
Well, now I was looking, going, that kid does not look 18. And it turned out that these showcases now have JUCO players coming in.
Oh, for the showcases. That's
So you've
news to
got
me. That's
everything from
crazy.
16, 17-year-olds to 21, 22-year-olds at these
wow.
showcase events. And it makes it difficult for these high school kids, to compete against somebody who's 21, 22 years old.
Right, of course.
And so it just again makes it that much more difficult. And the reality is there. The reality is you either do it or you don't. And I tried to tell my son, look, kid, don't compete against that guy, or that guy. They're already sophomores in college.
Right.
But it makes sense. With the portal now, they got to look at everybody. And so I think it's almost harder for college coaches now because of the widespread that they're picking from. It's like,
They got to produce immediately, too.
yeah, exactly.
It's not like a year or two to develop. No more off years. They kind of
Yeah,
go in and show out.
Yeah, you're coming in at 22, 23 years old. You
Yeah.
know, I guess when you watch when we watch the College World Series, some of these guys were 23, 24 years old already.
From that COVID year,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Still,
And that's crazy. Like 6 years, 7 years, super quadruple seniors.
yeah, you hope they're doctors by now.
Yeah. Have MBAs, MDs, PEs, all that stuff. Yeah, no. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, it's kind of insane, starting how that pandemic kind of changed everything. Everything and set everything up. And then, the new rules with the NCAA, just allowing players to get paid in the NIL.
Oh, yeah.
Is having a huge influx over a lot of people. Like, I know a couple of coaches at schools, and I'm asking them how the recruiting process is going, and they're just like, It's tough with the portal. Like it's almost like you don't want your guys to do too good because then they're
right.
gone.
True.
Right, and then then if you got but like on the flip side, if you got guys that do bad and you need to cut them, you can make your whole group stronger by going into the portal and taking guys as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Now that's also not to bring down that they still look at high schoolers. It is just, I would say, a little bit harder to get picked up D1 versus like back when Mitch and I got picked up, because I think when we were going through the recruiting process, a big part of getting into just being looked at was being in the right circuit.
Oh,
like because you got, as you know, like there's been a huge influx of select travel ball teams and self-proclaimed best teams in the Houston area or whatever city they're from, and they come down and then, you know, they're playing all these tournaments, and yeah, you can win all these tournaments, but if no one's watching you, what's the point at this level,
Absolutely.
at this age, right? So I think like it's almost like counterproductive to play versus like going to like a camp and wasting all this money unless you're in that circuit, or at least you should be trying or fighting to get in said circuit. But it's like it's very close knit.
It's true, because I mean there's been some of these events that Blake's been invited to that he hasn't had to pay, and you know immediately it's those are the ones you want to go to. They're serious. Like, if you don't have to pay, okay. And so what are you supposed to do? How do you know what you're doing? And I just sit there and go, I don't know, Blake, you want to go to this one? Because I'm leaving a lot of it up to him, because I'm trying to get him to narrow down what schools he wants to go after. And what I mean by he wants to go after is call the coach, send them the videos, because you're not going to do that to every school. It's just going to be a waste of your time.
Right.
So I'm trying to get Blake. And the other thing, too, is I don't know how to say this, but I really haven't been telling Blake all the truth, because I still want him deep down to say, this is what I want, I'm going after it.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine me telling him, look, man, the chances of you going D1 are absolutely slim to none. There's some certain JUCOs that maybe you want to try, or, I don't want to tell him that. I want him to work hard. I want him to just keep his dream alive, and I want him to just do the best that he can. Right. And like Blake got all kinds of accolades last year, and that might have helped him a little bit. But for the most part, I'm like, kid, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
They want to see what you did this summer. They want to see what you're going to do next year as a senior. And I want to make sure that the fire's still in his belly.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that the fire's still in his belly, because as, working with him and talking to him and, especially about the mental side of the game, as well as like how to treat your throwing and the physical side and anywhere from hitting, just all aspects, talking to him. I mean, he's very motivated, very talented in that regard, and he's very skilled. And like it's very hard to see that, especially nowadays, because a lot of players, especially a lot of kids that I see coming around that are high school, are only in it for the glam, only in it for the status, only in it for the aesthetic of baseball, versus like if you're good at baseball and you train well at baseball, you automatically fit the mold and the aesthetic. You have the aesthetic, right? Like if you take 100 ground balls a day and you work on your form, like you'll look good. I mean, because you're gonna get better every day. But if you're just like, I want to look cool, and then you do some little click, little glove flare or whatever, and then like bounces off your glove, hits your chest, and you make like a sidearm throw, 60 poo across the field. Like,
those are the kids that we used to do the da-na-na,
yeah. You might look cool as you fail, but like what's crazy is like this kid Mitch, he was never the flashiest player, but dude, I can't even remember an error that he ever made.
Right.
Like, he's the most consistent guy, and that's really what counts, because when you're going in for the win, when you're going to the World Series or whatever, you want guys that, like, that ball's hit to you, like, oh, yeah, that for sure. That play is going to be made 110%. Like, I don't even have to back him up. I'm going to back him up, but I don't even have to back him. It's a courtesy backup.
My oldest son, Corey, when he was in Atascocita, 0 errors at second base. Probably the least flashy defensive play you'd ever want to see. But when he had 100 routine ground balls hit to him, he fielded 100 out of 100. Mm-hmm. He never made the diving backhand that from his knees through sidearm. Never did that. But he made every single out that any coach could ask of a player. But I think the problem for him when he was trying to get to the college level was he didn't have that. He just did his job, and that was it. So that's the other thing that kind of bothers me is do you have to be flashy? Do you have to have that loud voice? Because for me, it was difficult. He was a great pitcher too, but he couldn't break glass.
That's a good point. So, like, I think, yeah, consistency is very important, but you also, especially, like, since Corey played at a very, very competitive district and with a lot of competitive, talented players at his time, I don't think consistency was enough. More like you had to shine in your own way, whether that's like, hey, he's a shut-down defender at second base, but, he also put 13 over. You kind of got to have to shine out somewhere, or, like, he may not, like, Corey's 100 out of 100, but because he also throws 94 across the back. Like, you have to have some sort of quality, just because of, I think, the circumstances he was in and the player and the high talent he's playing, because he played with a lot of flashy guys.
Without a doubt.
A lot of very charismatic, swag-filled guys, and, like, kind of during that time period where baseball was having that turnover from old school to new school.
Uh-huh.
New school was sexy, and, like, all of a sudden now you got kids reinvested in MLB The Show. Like, that was, I believe that's around his time when he was graduating, because I was already past college. I was already done.
Yeah, one of the funniest stories that I was there to watch was the kid that was playing second that day. He made a beautiful over-the-shoulder, just straight out to the outfield diving catch. And everybody just went crazy. I mean, crazy. Problem is, the next 2 innings, he missed 2 of the most routine ground balls you'd ever want to see. And he came up to me after the game, and I said, "How you doing, big guy?" He goes, "Good, coach. Did you see that play?" And I went, "I did." He said, "What'd you think?" I said,
"Cool.
It was top 10 ESPN. Question for you." And he looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, coach." I go, "What happened to the 2 ground balls the next couple innings that you missed?" Just, wanting him to
humor me, yeah.
Yeah, humor me. And he goes, "Huh? Oh, yeah. But that catch I made," and I went, that's all he cared about.
Right.
And I just looked at him like, okay, you probably have about 100 more attempts before that happens to you again, where the routine ground balls, you're going to get 10 of those a game. So I'm missing something here.
Right. And you'll probably appreciate this story. It was like, I think it was my, it was my junior year. I'm in center field. We were playing George Mason. And this is kind of like, it was cool and terrible at the same time, because, like, it really showed how much respect and how much confidence my team had in me. So, like, going into the 9th inning, our closer's in. He's got the all-time close record, Mr. Bars. And he pitched, and it's the last out. We're playing at George Mason. Very windy day. Like, I mean, it was a good day, typical day. Like, we're just taking care of business, Friday game. Go in, whoop their ass. And then, like, we're up like 6. I'm 2 for 4. I'm having a good day. Ball's hit in the air, pop fly, high pop fly. And I mean, I'm just underneath it. And I'm like this, like, I call it off. I'm like, I got it, whatever. And, like, all of a sudden, like, I'm like on my back heel, because I'm like, this ball's kind of coming in. And then a wind gust just blows it, and it goes right over my head. So already hugely embarrassed. Sadly, it's a hit from my closer, because the ball was blown so far back it didn't even touch my glove. Right. And I would have avoided that air. Like, I deserved the air, because that ball should have been caught. There was no excuse. And I turn around, I pick up the ball. The kid's standing on second, but my team's nowhere around. Like, half of them are off the field. My pitcher's already walked off. And I chucked the ball as hard as I can. I think it was our third baseman, was like one hop to him, and he's like near shortstop, because thank God he's my roommate. He's paying attention, keeping me humble. And he caught the ball, and everyone, like, started jogging back onto the field. And everyone's looking at, my coaches are all just looking at me like this, and I'm like I'm sorry.
Don't ask.
Like, I don't know what happened either. Like, I'm embarrassed. Strikes the next kid out. And I jog off the field, and I was like, "Tyler, I'm so sorry. I don't know what that wind came in last second and went right over my head." And he's like, "Oh, no, you're fine. And then, like, my coach obviously is shoving kids out the way and be like, "What happened?" I was like, I don't know. Like, I was like, it'll never happen again. Like, the wind just blew that ball straight over my head. Couldn't see it coming. And I was just like, and, like, everyone's like, "Are you okay? Like, are you okay?" All this stuff. And I was just like, "Yeah, I don't know." Like, they're like, "We just thought you'd catch it."
Yep.
I was like, "I'm already walking out. I just thought you caught it." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I'm terrible. I feel bad." And that was, like, it was cool that they trusted me so much that they were like, Jordan's got it. We're off the field, and then so embarrassing that now they'll probably have a little bit of hesitation.
They'll take 2 steps and go.
Wait, he did drop that one time. Yeah,
we better wait.
No, yeah, that was embarrassing. But like that, I just felt like that needed to come out.
No, because I've had a video of Blake in center. Same thing. It was so funny. The ball went up. It was routine, and I looked in the video, and there goes the third baseman, pitcher, catcher. Everybody's just jogging off the field, and the ball was still 20, 30 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And I looked at Blake. I said, "What would have happened if you'd have dropped this?" He goes,
Panic.
I don't know. I said, "You really wouldn't have had anybody to throw the ball to." And he started laughing because I showed him the video, and I guess he never really has seen that before. But that's what I told him. Same thing. I said, "Look how much everybody trusts you."
Yeah.
They all jogged off the field. Third baseman, he didn't even turn around and look. He's jogged off the field. And I was like, thank God you did not drop that. I mean, they weren't even looking.
I know. It's scary. That's happened to me in college, and it's happened to me in high school. Same thing with Brady May, left field. Something flew right into my eye. Don't know what happened. That ball hit my glove, popped right out. Brady was already off the field. I felt so bad. Oh, no. Yeah, I know. His dad. My dad was sitting next to his dad. Imagine having to explain that.
Yeah.
Like, I think Brady, he might have been throwing a no-hitter for all I know. Like, I don't even know. Like, I felt terrible. Like, no one was harder on me than me. Like,
right. Which isn't a bad thing.
Right, yeah. But I was just like, it was just one of those things, like varsity, I'm a junior. Like, I gotta be. Like that's like, at that time, that wasn't Aaron. I took that, and I was like, holy crap.
How you ate that one?
Yeah, dude. Literally, like, the fact that I remember it's like it's my worst nightmare. It's the bane of my existence.
That's the thing is it's, you don't remember the score of that game. You don't remember what happened, but you will remember that.
I will remember that. Yeah, horrified. I think I remember every error I've ever made from like high school on.
There's no question.
That's how few there are, but like that, I remember every single one.
Yeah, that's what you expected out of your game.
Exactly.
So if one error just kept you up at night.
Right. So what kind of like, I guess, lack of things do you see from players around Blake's age? Like, is it skill development? Is it mental side issues? Is it mental toughness? Or is it just like not knowing the game or not being able to react?
I think one of the first things I always see every game right now is their baseball IQ. I see just kids just making mistakes that, I don't know, freshmen maybe make. I'm
talking about like on plays.
Double cuts, where to be when the ball's hit, or do they know where they're going before the ball's even hit?
Right.
I see kids, and I'll give you my opinion on why that is, but that's the stuff I see. Blake will come up in center looking for his cutoff man.
He's nowhere.
He's nowhere to be found. And when you talk to them after, I said, what happened? Coach, I guess I just didn't realize I was the cut.
Yeah, no, that can't happen.
I'm like, what are you talking? And my next question is to them is why it answers the whole thing. What do you mean you didn't know? Well, I was never taught that. What do you mean you were never taught that? You were never taught the basic cut? It goes back, unfortunately, and I know I'm going to make a lot of people mad on this one, is select ball. Select ball coaches, all they want is that ring. For one reason or another, I don't know.
Well, clarify, like select ball, I understand, I agree, but like what age? Because I think at high school, you should know where every position, every person needs to be by the time you're 14.
Absolutely.
Because at the age from 13 and under, no one is recruiting you. No one is scouting you out. You should be learning everything you can about the game and getting as better at the game as you possibly can. That's the whole reason why those kids need to practice, is to understand the game.
No question.
You don't need to have I don't believe you need to have practices for your travel ball team in high school. Like, at that point, you should be good enough. You should have a couple tools under your belt. You should understand the game perfectly, that you can walk on the field with 8 strangers and play as good as you can get, as good as you can be in front of scouts, because you're trying to make it to a team.
Yeah,
right?
But you're going way back.
Right.
When travel ball first started. But back then, when I was coaching at Kingwood High School, running their summer and fall program, back then, that select ball was what it was called. That was the best of the best back then. And like you just said, you put 9 guys on that field, you didn't have to worry about what he was going to do, the guy next to you.
Right.
Because everybody just knew that much of the game, that all you got to do is throw those guys out on the field, and you've got an all-star team.
Right.
Now, we all know it's pretty watered down. And when you see some of these select coaches, like I said, I'm going to piss a lot of people off, but so what? It's just the truth. They're in it for one thing, to win. When I hear some of these dads that I talk to my mind just, my head just aches.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, well, we're playing majors now. I think we'll be moved up because we're, 14-2. Where's that guy?
Who cares?
And when we were coaching at Kingwood High School, I would tell we have a parent meeting, 100 parents in the stands, and I would look at them and every year say the same thing. Okay, now I don't want your kid's resume. I don't care what level he played at. I don't care what he did. I don't want to know how many rings they've got. What do I want to know? Does he know where to go on a double cut?
Right.
Okay. And then the other thing was, this was the funniest part, was I'd go, well, let me explain to you why we don't care. So can I see a show of hands, whose son here plays shortstop? 95 hands go up. Okay, see, that's the thing.
That.
Yeah, I go, we don't need 95 shortstops. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I said, so, let me see a show of hands of the kids. Okay, and I would throw just a scenario at them. Ground ball down the line, all the way to the fence. It's a double, guaranteed. Okay, you're at shortstop. Where are you on the double cut?
No one can answer it?
No. I mean, there's a reason why it's called daddy ball. I mean, let's just face facts. There's so many teams out there now that they're not worried about, okay, does my son know the fundamentals next year as a freshman? They just went, well, Coach, we have 9 rings. Oh, okay.
Okay, Tom Brady.
Yeah, because, we sat there and in the very first practice as freshmen, I'd say, all right, good luck, gentlemen, because we're about to find out what you know.
Yeah.
And we would just drill them into the ground. And I would look at my brother and just go, we got a lot of work to do. And that was the unfortunate part about it. Mm-hmm. That was the whole goal of my brother and I when we were coaching there, when we were running their fall and summer program for them, was by the time they got to Coach Denny in the spring, he had nothing to worry about but winning. So it was our job to teach the fundamentals, where everybody needed to be on the field when they were asked to do it.
But I think we're at a point now with the modern day version of the game that they have to know this going into high school now.
You'd hope so. You really do. Because I know, and this isn't bragging, this is just the truth. We won the state championship in 2005. Mm-hmm. And part of that reason was, and Coach Denny was the one who said this, was I've got 2 coaches over here that they didn't care whether they won or lost. By the time these guys got to me, they knew everything about every fundamental there is to know on the field. And that's the reason why we won that championship. Because our job was, we had one goal, done. That was it.
Yeah.
And I think today, there's so many teams, there's so many kids, and some of these dads just, they want to brag, and that's just it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like even when I was in college and we worked on, like double cuts and all that, I had known what a double cut was, obviously.
Right.
And I know where to go and where to be. I think the fact that we ran it as a team in practice was just more so familiarity and chemistry-wise and just to, clean little maintenance up, all that stuff, to see how fast we can do it. It was more about speed
Sure.
at that point.
Absolutely.
And efficiency versus hey, you go over here, you go over there. It's more like, hey, you got to turn around, get that.
Sure.
You got to scream out his name so he knows exactly what direction where to turn.
So basically you guys were working game time speed.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, for sure. We'll be in our thing, hits it into the gap. I get to it first. I need my my shortstop or second base or whoever was coming out, depending on which gap it was. Let's say it's the short. So my shortstop would come out, Tim. Tim would scream cut 3, cut 3, cut 3. And because I can hear approximately where he is, I can immediately catch the ball and just
You-
turn
right.
into it.
You knew where your cutoff
Yeah,
was.
exactly. And then I just, at this point, my range is like a 10-yard range, and I'll find him, and then I'll fire it in. And I remember, like, the advanced part of working on the double cut is where to hit him. Like, do you hit him in the chest? Do you hit him at the face? I always aim a little bit above his head into his throwing side.
Right.
So that way, if he needs to, he can just in one cut it, or I have enough on it to where he can just let it go. I hit the double cut or one hop the double cut.
Yeah.
He makes the relay. Whatever, it's about speed at that
Like,
point, right?
and the biggest thing for us is like when I was teaching double cut, I take my outfielders and say, okay, so let's just say you're going left center gap. Play's coming 3. Okay, who are you going to hit? And they would go, I'd say it's a double cut. So you have primary, secondary.
Right.
Who are you going to hit? And they'd all look at me and they'd go, I said, do you guys know? And some of them just straight up said, I said, guys, think about this. Shortstop, second baseman. Who do you think is going to have a better arm? Shortstop, correct. So if he's the primary cut, hit your primary cut.
Right.
I said, because they're the ones that guy might try to stretch it out to inside the park. So let's go. So we did as much as that. The outfielders knew, okay, this guy's got a stronger arm than this guy.
But if it's on the right side, if you're going to hit the stronger cut, you
Then
go
you're gonna
you
hit your
second guy.
Exactly. So that's
Makes sense because your stronger arm's in right field anyway.
Right. So I said that's the guy that you want to go after. So those are the things that we focused on. The biggest thing for us that made that team so successful was one thing. We kept them together all year.
Chemistry.
That time period, Coach said, all right, I like your approach on this. I'm going to tell these guys they can go play on another team. But when it comes down to it, this team's going to be everything. So we got to keep them together the entire year, through summer, through fall. They were playing together every day. Mm-hmm. I mean, my joke with the team was, look, by the time this is over with, you're going to know what he had for breakfast, even if you didn't call him.
So you're saying that baseball IQ is probably one of the biggest difference makers
No
you
question.
see.
No question. It's a thinking game.
Correct.
Everybody
It is.
knows that.
Very analytical.
Yep. So our approach was, these guys are going to know what that guy's thinking and what that guy's thinking by the time this is all said and done. Because one of the biggest things we did too, because that was our job, we would, he's not doing too well at second. You know what? Let's move him here. Let's try so and so here. Let's try this double play combination up the middle because these guys, they're in sync with each other.
Yeah.
So that was our job. By the time spring came around, Coach knew where everybody was going to be playing because he watched. He would come to all the games. That's another thing too. Every game. And afterwards, sometimes we'd go to lunch with Coach the next day and go, what'd you think about that combination? I liked it. Switch this guy and this guy. Let's see what happens. All right. We do the same thing with the lineup.
Yeah.
Who's your leadoff? Well, we'll find him. You know, who's your cleanup? We got it, Coach. We'll find him for you. Mm-hmm. And we would mess with the lineup constantly. Because I didn't care if somebody came up to me and said, Coach, I'm a shortstop. I played shortstop my entire career. Good, go to right.
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot of.
That's what I got told.
Yeah, we got a lot of parents that were just absolutely mad with it, and I didn't care. They could be mad all they want. Mm-hmm. My job was to figure out what team's going to be the best to put out on that field. That was our job. And for some reason, they didn't hate us too much after we won the state championship.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to hate after that.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't see that much anymore. You know, I see great teams, but do they have the chemistry? That's the key. You guys both played college ball. Mm-hmm. So you know how tough that is, especially in college, because these guys have never played together before. So what these college coaches expect is what you said earlier. I don't have to teach you this. Get your butt out to the field and let's play baseball.
Exactly.
They don't have to teach them the fundamentals that they don't teach anymore.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things about being a head coach is to get your whole team united onto one front.
Especially in college.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, you got kids that are 18, immature, coming in, seeing a lot of things for the first time.
And both of you two would know this, but I know when I got to college, we had nicknames for a lot of the guys, but
Correct,
the key
yeah.
nickname was IME. And everybody would go, what does that mean? They're the guys that started every sentence with I and ended it with me. Imies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, what's that going to do for me? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't want that nickname.
I think when it comes to team chemistry, it was kind of I was in a position where like my team, like the upperclassmen didn't talk to the freshmen. Like we had this weird, and I think it's dumb. We had this weird setup where there was like an upperclassman side, like literally separated by like a little doorway, and then there was an underclassman side, and like all the upper class. And this is just from tradition of like, you know, back from being Hayes, like you're a little freshman, don't talk to me, all this stuff. Like like you don't know I'm top dog around here. And like there's only like a couple ways you could get the upperclassmen to respect you. If you were in their eyes cool enough for them. 2, if you proved yourself on the field, which is the easiest way.
Right.
Prove yourself on the field, and then 3, if you were if you just took what they said without batting an eye. I fell into number 2 because it was the easiest way, and I immediately revolted to doing whatever they said. That actually put me in the doghouse for a little bit. It was like day 2. I was like, I'm not into that. How dare you talk to me like this? Like, kind of ego.
We also took that because that's the way it was for the longest time.
Yeah.
Well, we took that and threw it out the window. And what I mean by that, especially like in the summertime, we took all the incoming freshmen, and they were for about the first 3 weeks into the summer because we practiced a lot, and we did it for the younger guys. And I told my upperclassmen, especially my seniors, this isn't for you. I know you know how to do this. But for this program to be successful, I want you guys to mentor these freshmen. I want you to teach them how we do things around here so that I didn't have to do it. And the other reason why I like that was having the seniors or the upperclassmen teach the freshmen. It taught them what they knew, what the freshmen knew. And all of a sudden, instead of just being out there, they were teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see them go, I wonder if I didn't know that. Well, I'm going to make sure this kid does. So they taught our way on that field.
Yeah.
And so the freshmen, within 2-3 weeks, were almost caught up to the upperclassmen because the upperclassmen were the ones that were teaching these guys. And it made a difference in them, big time, because of that routine right there of, you know, you're a freshman, go away.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk to you. I got rid of that, or we got rid of that, because they're full of experience and knowledge. So there was no way we were going to just let that go out the window.
Right, yeah. And I was kind of, for me, like, the upperclassmen kind of took to me, and I was in the baseball group chat, but all the freshmen are not in it. They put in 2 representatives. They put me and another kid, and they're like, it's your job to tell the freshmen everything that we say. So it'd be like, practice at 1:30. I have to make another group chat with the other freshmen and tell them that practice at 1:30. Oh, I'm not. Like, I still got it on Group Me. And there's another, we're like, hey, you know, we're all going to so-and-so's house, team meeting, whatever, go here. Or, hey, you guys, so-and-so needs to pick up this in the locker room because it's their turn. Like, I have to go. And I'm like this middleman. It's weird.
That's
But we ended up almost winning the whole entire tournament because of we united as a team. Like, even though we were divided by class, kind of, it was like what united us on the field was our goal because they projected us to be last in the whole entire conference, and that, and then the coach previous before that had rubbed some people the wrong way. Like, everyone's like, yeah, we want to show the whole Atlantic 10 what we want to do, and that brought us together. And therefore, that chemistry alone took us far because I don't think we were the most talented. We had a lot of good dudes, but we weren't the most talented at that point. And then the following year when we did win it all is when we had everyone on the same goal, on the same agenda. Like, we were so close to going to a regional, guys. Like, how great. Like, everyone come on that, and the freshmen understood, and they easily adapted to oh, you guys are here to win. Like, we also want to win. Like, that'd be cool. Like, we haven't gone back to a regional in 23 years or whatever, you know? And so, they all bought in, and we ended up achieving that. And then it got to a point, my junior year, we were very, we weren't united at all. We had a lot of people with a lot of egos. because of the success. We had a lot of people that wanted to make their mark, but like wanted to do it their way. There was a lot of turmoil with my junior year team. And then my senior year team, I think it was more like we had like upperclassmen who had done it like the hard knocks way, kind of like how I had grown up. And then we had a bunch of like, it's a whole nother generation of kids.
Right.
And they kind of grew up like, hey, let's have fun types of, like, we play our best baseball when we're having fun and laid back, having a good time, versus like, hey, we got to get serious, lock in, and absolutely deal baseball, because you know what's fun? Winning. Like, and it's two different mindsets, and those mindsets clashed very hard.
I can see that.
So it's like, you know, when we would get on somebody, I would kind of take it like, yeah, I gotta freaking do it. Like, I don't know, I gotta pull my head out of my ass type thing and get going. But like on some of these kids, you'd be like, hey, you get on them, and they shut down, and now you've took that kid out for the whole game,
right?
And he's useless. Now you got a liability. Like, and it was interesting going through my whole entire college career, seeing how different people reacted, how different parts of the team react, and then like, you know, trying to find that chemistry, because I've been on a team where that chemistry is there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is magical. Like I feel like I'm in a dream, everything's going perfectly. And then I've also been on teams where the chemistry just doesn't click and it doesn't mesh, you know. And I also think recruiting has a lot to do with that, because
no question.
You have a coach that recruits the same kind of players that think the same kind of way.
That's what I was going to say.
It's very much easier, but we had a coach turnover.
Right.
So we had one coach who thought a certain way, and he had half of his guys, and then our new coach came over, and he brought in his guys, and it just didn't. It meshed kind of. I'm not saying we were like anti and hostile against each other. It wasn't. It was just like the culture shift was very hard to mesh together.
Yeah, because most people don't realize. Most people immediately, all right, he's recruiting the best shortstop or the best third baseman. But personalities have a lot to do with how they recruit.
Yeah.
And most people don't know that. You know, and you. That's why I always tell some of these young kids, you know, I'm thinking about playing so-and-so. Do you know the coach? I know he coaches there. Yeah, well, you might want to learn him. If you want to be recruited by him, or if you don't want to be recruited by him, you've got to understand where he is.
Right.
Like you said, clashing, because two different coaching styles. Now, that has a lot to do with recruiting.
Right.
You know,
it does.
But Blake has the opportunity to be a team captain his senior year next year. And coach told him, look, these young kids, they're going to look up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told Blake, just be who you are, and they'll follow. So you want to be the type of kid that you know, I said, I know it's going to be tough, that maybe you don't want that responsibility, but it's just something that's going to be thrown on you. Okay, but I said that doesn't mean you have to change who you are.
Correct. And I also, as a good point that you brought up, I had a kid, he just committed to Ranger Junior College,
Mm-hmm.
just signed, Ethan Allen. He texted me a year ago. He's like, hey, how do I be a great leader? He's going into his senior year, and you know, he's been doing it really well, grade-wise and sport-wise, and he's looking good, and it's pretty much, in my eyes, it's pretty much a gimme. He's going to be their guy. And I said, a leader comes in many forms. And I said, there's no one way to lead somebody. I was like, you're dealing with people. People are different. People change. The atmosphere is different. You got to be able to read the room. There's social norms and all that. I kind of broke it down. He's kind of getting confused. And I go, listen. I was like, I'm making it very simple. I was like, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person that speaks with their words and are very good with their words? Or are you very good with your actions? Are you a very quiet leader? Are you a very quiet person? Or are you a very outspoken person? I was like, whatever you are, be yourself and use it to your advantage. I was like, I'm a very outspoken guy, and I'm going to voice my opinion, and then I'm going to do everything I can to keep my word on that. I also know, like, there's other types of leaders where, like, hey, he doesn't really talk much, but he's going to do his job, and he's going to execute it 10 out of 10 times. He might not be the guy to pick you up and say, come on, buddy, you can do a good job, but he's going to be like, I got it, and he's going to go out there and do it. And that's inspiration in and of itself. That's leadership. That's another form of leadership. There's another guy that can just get you all pumped up and amped up right before you go and take the field, and he's a leader whether he starts or not. Like, there's different types of leaders. And I was like, whatever you are, whatever kind of person you are, take your best qualities and push that onto the team. That's a leader. And then the easiest, and I guess also the hardest part, have the merit to do it.
Right.
Execute. Be the top guy. Because, like, I don't care if I am better than you and you're telling me what to do. Like, I mean, like, there's a difference between encouraging somebody and then telling somebody what to do. as a leader, right? I'm not gonna listen to you. Like if you can't, like if there's no merit, there's no reason for you to back me up. Like, hey, you gotta have that. You gotta have that play. Like I made a diving play in the outfield. You gotta have that play. If I go, I know for a fact you can't do that play, or you would have been at least close as I was.
Right.
Do not talk to me. That's kind of that's the kind of person I am. But like so therefore I took that as like a personal statement. Like I will get on somebody or I will tell someone to do something or do like that. Not disrespectfully, of course, but because they know that like Jordan would have done that. Jordan would have worked out harder. Sure. Jordan would have made that play. Therefore, like come on, like I'm bringing the whole level up. That's the kind of leader I was, but I don't know how he ended up leading his team. But they went to the second round of playoffs. And he was the best player by far, and he did outstanding. So, I think Blake will absolutely be a good leader. He's the only kid I think that has a chance at breaking records on records on records at K Park. Like he literally has it. The whole scene is set. So it's up to him. But I mean, I wish him the best of luck this season. I know he's got a very important fall. Very important spring, and you should be excited because it's all right there for the team.
Well, since this is your podcast, it's time to blow your head up a little bit, but there's no question this entire summer, Blake has based his every game, every at bat with what you told him, and he is, taken to it like a fish to water. He understands what you're telling him now. And every time an at-bat finishes or we're riding home or doing whatever, I looked at him, I said, what approach did you use that second time up? Yeah. And he looks at me, he goes, well, I was thinking my first at-bat that, I was 3-0. So I said to myself, I'm just going to sit fastball. And blew my mind, Dad, that I got an off-speed. I said, so you missed the pitch. He goes, big time. But I understood, okay, now I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, it's not about him as a hitter. It's about him as a pitcher. Right?
Yeah, and so I told him, I said, good. And now every time I talk to him in at bat, the first thing he says was, well, I felt good on my approach.
That's good. That's great.
And it's changed his approach. It's changed his at bats. And I think the great thing about it is he was lefty on lefty when we were in Atlanta, and this kid just tore him apart. And I really expected for him to be down on that, And he looked at me and he goes, yeah, he out-thought me on that one. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him like, nice. So he's going to the plate, and even after the results, like one kid struck him out on 3 straight pitches, 1 fastball, 2 sliders on the outside, lefty on lefty. Mm-hmm. He was done. And I expected him to be just really down and out about it. But he looked at me, he goes, he out-thought me on that one, Dad, which is fine because, now I know what I'm going to do my next time up. Exactly. So I just looked at him and I was like, yeah. You could see he's getting a little bit more mature at his at-bats, because we talked about it one time and I said, look, kid, you're getting to the point now where you can't just use your ability to react. You can't sit there and wait for the pitch to be halfway to the plate and go, oh, that's a fastball.
Correct, because it's gone.
Because I said, because now you've been facing a lot of guys throwing 90 plus. And as you can tell, even you're Superman yourself, it's not working for you.
It's not. Can't.
And so it's been, I love watching him now at the plate. Because
it's all competitive.
It's all, okay, throw me the fastball. I dare you. And he's had some great hits this summer because he said, Dad, I watched, this is how I know he's understanding, because it made me smile 8 miles wide. I said, nice shot. He goes, yeah, I was watching. He said, the 4 guys in front of me all got fastballs first pitch.
So can't be a coincidence.
So he looked at me and he said, so I went up there with the approach of, throw me that fastball. I dare you.
Yeah, and he did. And how easy is it to hit it when you know it's
and he said that, that triple down the line. I said, yeah. He goes, it was, I don't know, the pitch looked like beach ball because I knew what was coming. And I said, and did you stick with that? He goes, no question. Instead of going, well, I don't know what he's going to throw, so I'm just going to stand here.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, so you're going to have ugly strikeouts. He goes, no.
That's part of the learning process. That's a lot of people don't realize is when you're developing an approach, right? Everybody's approach is different because everyone swings different. Everyone has different stats, all that stuff. yada yada yada. But like, I know Mitch's approach is nothing near what my approach was. All right. I mean, we're two different hitters. We're two different types of players, two different types of heroes, right? So, you know, Mitch, I don't know what Mitch's approach was entirely, but I know for my approach, when I started using it in high school, it worked because like it was a high school approach. And then on my summer league team, going into my freshman year of college, I played in a college summer league, you know, 18 years old, and I struck out more times in that summer league than ever. Like, it had me questioning, like, am I good enough to play baseball at the college level? Because I was...
Why did that happen, though?
Oh, because the pitch advanced. It was so much more advanced. Whereas my approach in high school was if it's straight and over the plate, crush it. How simple is that, right? If he throws an off-speed pitch, take it, because he has to throw it 2 more times to get you out. And on the and after he throws it 1 more time, like after I got 2 strikes with 2 curveballs, like I'm looking for it now.
Yeah,
like
simple.
Yeah, like now I just got to make contact and I'll probably get a single out of it. And so then when I got to that college level, you know, hard slider, boom, first pitch, and I'm just like, why? Because I just took his fastball to the wall. Makes sense. Like I would throw me an off-speed pitch too. Like, all right, now what does go? Oh, curveball, inside corner, boom. Like, he kind of looked like he meant to throw it there, you know. And then slider, maybe black, but it's moving away. Strike 3, you know. And I'm just canning. And you know, my dad's looking at me. He's like, I hadn't seen you strike out this much in a long time. And I was like, I know. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then I recognized, like, it's not my swing. It's not my at bat. It's how
it's your approach.
It's my approach and how I'm perceiving it. And you know, learning all that, and getting my ass whooped. I think I batted like 210. Nothing impressive. 210 with like 30 strikeouts. Like, I mean, those were valuable ass kickings that I took. And so when I went to college, you know, we kind of like I had another assistant coach, or my whole coaching staff was all big about the approach. And when I dove into it and I learned it and I understood it, and that's how I ended up becoming like a 300+ batter throughout my whole college career.
Right. And the nice thing is Blake understands what you two bring to him.
Yeah.
And what I like is, you know, he's going into his senior year, so it's a little bit earlier for him that he's understanding the approach. Because one thing, now the both of you two are sitting in this room, is pretty funny, and this is how much I know it means to him. Was you saw what Joey did to him that game.
Yeah, and our only game we watched.
The other day, because he saw him in Atlanta, it made him think about it. The other day, he was sitting there just staring at his phone, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he looked at me. He said, "Honestly, Dad, I'm studying Joey for next year." He goes, "That's not going to happen again." And I said, "So what are you looking at?" He goes, "His pitch sequence." I noticed my first time up, he threw nothing but fastballs. He didn't want to show me his slider, his best pitch yet. And I said, good thought. He goes, and then I watched my second and third at bat, and he set me up with 1 fastball inside, then he threw me 3 or 4 straight sliders on the outside corner.
You had a game plan for him.
And
it was super evident.
Yeah, and I told him that. I said, he goes, so honestly, Dad, that's the approach I'm going to use next year.
Right. I mean, I can't wait till he realizes when like a pitcher is not pitching because it's him, it's pitching because it's a pitcher, and then vice versa.
Well, I asked one of Joey's teammates, and that's exactly what he told me. He said, Coach, he said Blake was the only one that we had a game plan for.
Correct.
And I said to Blake, I said, there's no better compliment in the world that they were only worried about one player in that lineup.
And no greater insult when it works.
But Blake, what I like is his approach, meaning he said that's not going to happen again.
He's growing tremendously, and
and it all started with you guys, and so that's what I love. I love the fact that, you know, one of the first things Blake says, I'm coming up. He always asks if one of you two are always going to be here. And that's what I like because, you know, when you guys have sons, you'll understand this. I don't allow just about anybody to work with Blake except you two. Mm-hmm. Because what I like with you two is you teach this as much as this.
Right, it's not physical. It can't be.
Right.
This game's way too hard.
I mean, to see him, what he's doing now compared to just a couple months ago, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because he listened and he took what you told him, and he is using it. So it's great to watch because you're taking it from here to here.
Right.
The other thing that I like is even after all the accolades that he got this season, Offensive Player of the Year for the district, all that first team, all Greater Houston, all this, none of that matters to him.
Mm-hmm.
What matters to him now is what's going to make me better.
Correct. I still got a way.
And he's using what you gave him. And what I like is a lot of kids who get to that level that he just accomplished will just level off.
Right.
I'm District 16 5A Player of the Year, Hitter of the Year. Why would I worry about that stuff? But to him, that's gone.
Right. Because where he's going, they're all like that.
Yeah, and he knows that. And that was the nice thing about going to Atlanta. We faced a lot of guys that were throwing 90 plus.
Yeah.
And if you didn't go up to that plate with the idea of this is the approach I'm going to use, you might as well have gone up there with no bat at all.
Yeah.
Because these guys were just straight good. Already D1 commits, waiting for the draft.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching these kids, and it was amazing to me because it was fun for me. But I'm watching this kid going, this kid's projected to go first and second round, and I get to sit here and watch this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And Blake sat next to me, and I said, what are you looking for right now in this guy? Well, I've seen him throw like 2 curveballs and 3 sliders. He just sets you up with his fastball. And I just looked at him and smiled. And I said, he's working on this. I noticed he's working on this a lot more this summer.
What's more important?
This.
Yeah.
There's no question. And he realizes how far behind he really was. Like he was great up to this point, just using natural ability.
Which is insane in that aspect because I mean Mitch and I had that mental aspect down like our sophomore year, right? And he I remember you telling me I was like, yeah, you 380, and then I asked him like what are you thinking when you go up there? And he was just like, crush it. And I'm like, fair, but like, what's your plan of attack? What are you looking for? And he's like, a strike. And I was like, yeah, it's good. That's good. I was like, well, let's dive a little bit deeper, you know? And I was like, and it kind of dawned on me. I was like, this kid actually physically reacted to hitting 380. And I was like, that's kind of stupid because like with an approach, for me, I had an approach and I batted 400 my junior year, but 380 with no approach is almost unheard of.
Yeah.
Which is kind of dumb. Which is
great. Like I said, Blake, you have just the ability to play this game. And it's just nothing but, I'm just going to see if it's a fastball I'm going to hit.
Right.
Okay, let's try this.
Yeah. And now it's
the thing is, he's realizing that now.
Yeah.
Because like I said, he's had some ugly strikeouts a couple times this summer, which I was hoping for.
Right.
Because when he came back after the game, I said, tell me what happened at the second time up. I guessed wrong. And I went, okay.
Yeah.
I said, what happened? He goes, I thought for sure I was going to see the slider, and I got a fastball in the inside corner, and I couldn't catch up. I go, good.
Yeah, there's another.
And he looks at me and he was like, you're happy that I struck out? I go, I'm happy how you struck out.
There's a difference.
That's
Correct.
what I told him. I said, the fact that you went up with a game plan and it didn't happen,
right?
But you weren't upset because you just got outguessed or whatever by the pitcher. I said,
right.
You know, those are what you tip your hat to and say, you know. I said, why do you think sometimes when you see major leaguers, they just strike out just looking and then they just take one step and walk back to the dugout? And you hear all the people go, how does a major league pit hitter strike out like that? I said, because the last 4 times at the plate, he got the slider on the outside corner. And his coach went, I'd go up there looking for this.
Correct.
And the pitcher went, well, the last time I struck him out with a slider, he's probably going to look for that. So I'm going to bust his hands in with a 97 mile an hour fastball. I said, that's why you see them just walk off.
Right.
Because they went.
A lot of people don't understand, but anyway, Eric, we can be talking for hours and I'll put hours.
That's what we're going to do.
Well, we have to wrap this up. Again, I appreciate you coming on this podcast. Can't wait to have you all again.
Yeah, no doubt. This
it's fun.
It is. It really is. There's no question. Absolutely.
For all y'all tuning in, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
4,
all right.
3, 2.